I wanted to take a look at this. This is a Renogy DC-DC charger with solar input as well. And just excuse the noise, I'm in a car park, a Bunnings car park. So I should have I jumped the gun there, didn't I? I really did. So let's look at the box first so we can get the actual unboxing experience. Excuse my anxiety to get this installed. So SUV, blah blah blah, 4-wheel drive. Efficient heat dissipation, intelligent dual charging. So this is what I need. See, at the moment I have the Kings model, the 40 amp Kings. Okay, well, that's hooked up. Woof, you can see the flickery lights there. It's not flickery to the eye, but it definitely is to the camera. So that's all hooked up now, next to the Kings inverter there, and the mess of wires and stuff I've got going on here. But it's all connected up and we're charging, and we'll swap over to the app and have a look at that. So down here we've got the DC to DC, and you can see it's charging from the solar. Battery type lithium, system volts 12, auxiliary battery is 13.3. So it's charging at 8.4 amps, 112 watts at the moment. And it is 12:50 p.m. and the look, the sun is quite low in the sky. I'm down south of Geelong in Australia, and yeah, so the sun is quite low in the sky. So from a 550 watt panel, 100 watts at the moment is kind of what I was expecting, really. Plus there's a few losses in cabling, and the DC-DC charger obviously saps a bit of power as well. So starter battery volts is 0 because the car isn't started and it's not taking any amps. So the solar panel, it is running at 40 volts, and the open circuit voltage is 49.2 or something like that. Auxiliary battery 16 degrees. I did just stick the probe on top of the battery. It's sort of shoved under something. So the battery is basically 16 degrees, I guess. And the controller, the temperature is going up. So it's 47 degrees at the moment. It's been running for about half an hour. So we'll go into here. We'll have a quick look at the history, see what's there. Oh, okay. So it clocks the over discharge times here, and minimum battery volts, max battery volts. So 13.4. Oh wow, this is going to show some decent information. Now, I really wasn't expecting all this. You can even go back through July, May. Wow. You can export as well. Oh my goodness. This is going to be really handy, this. What have we got in here? Doesn't seem to be many data points. Max value 10 amps. Okay. Yeah, I might have to have a look at that. what else we got here? We have the parameters info, which just gives you a description of each thing. I did notice a bit of a typo, possibly. Yeah, so this one here, solar charge volts, right? And then the auxiliary battery temperature monitored by an external temperature sensor. That's definitely not solar charge volts. So I think that's a bit of a typo in there. But anyway. And we have in here the settings, which I did go into and changed a couple of things. So the maximum charge amps is handy. Depending on what the car's going to do, I'll have to see. But we can reduce those amps if we have to. So cancel out of that. Battery type, you can change it in here, which is handy. System volts. You definitely don't want to muck that up. Lithium activation is so if the battery is non-responsive, it'll wake it up for you. And the forward charge start volts is from the car, right? And when you go in here, I can't set any value lower than 13.2. So if I go 13.1, you'll see the error message come up. Forward charge voltage is 0.5 volts larger than the forward charge stop voltage. But I can't find anywhere to change the forward stop voltage. So basically, the lowest I can go on that is 13.2. So hopefully it'll actually charge from the car, but we'll see. Boost voltage, we'll have a look at what that is again. So boost voltage, or constant voltage delivered to the auxiliary battery during the boost charge stage. Okay, to ensure full charge of the battery. See, 14.4, I guess, is enough. That may have to change to 14.6, but to be safe, I'll just leave it at 14.4 for now because that's the default it's got for lithium. I don't think anything else is changeable. No, this one down here, low solar amps shut down. So this was set to 7 amps. Basically, in my situation, I mean, maybe I should set it to 0 really, but 1 amp seems pretty good. Basically, in my situation, if there's any light hitting that solar panel, I want it going into the battery. So basically, anything above 1 amp, I want it going into the battery, because being lithium, they accept any charge they get. I mean, even half an amp going in, like, it's still, yeah, that's stretching it a bit, isn't it? So yeah, 1 amp going in, we'll just leave it at that. Just so it doesn't cut off too early, because it is very low light here, so if there's any light at all, I want it going in the battery. Okay, well, that's the app. Okay, I've got the car running now, and I'm just revving it up to just above 2,000 revs. It's about 2150 sort of revs. And we're getting 17 amp from the starter battery. In the front of the car, where I've got the voltage meter in the USB socket, I'm reading 13.9 volts. And at the back, so through all that cable, it's dropping down to 12.9, which is fair enough, because it is drawing 17 amps through it, so you would expect a bit of voltage drop. It's a lot of cable to get through the car and then out to the trailer and then up into the trailer. Yeah, it's a lot. So we're charging the battery at 333 watts right at this minute. So there's what? Where's this solar? Oh, just down the bottom. So the solar is putting in 2.5 amps. The charger is starting to heat up, so 54 degrees, which is still within very safe limits. If that starts getting around 90, then you'd want to be shutting things down. But yeah, it seems to be getting a constant 17 amps from the battery there, and just above 2000 revs. So we'll drop it down to idle again, and you should see the amps drop significantly. We're down to 13.3 volts in the cabin, and this hasn't updated yet. Here we go, we're back online again, and we're looking at 12.9, 7.3 amps. So even at idle, it is still pumping 7.3 amps in. 7.13, okay. That's really good at idle, and it seems to be managing the voltage very well. Because the Kings one just wanted to draw the full 40 amps no matter what. And that's quite difficult to manage when you've only just got a car and you're trying to charge from the alternator. It's not good. So yeah, this one seems to be managing a lot better. We're getting some disconnection issues because I'm in the car and it's in the trailer, basically in a kind of Faraday cage. Alright, well, I've got some milk here, and we're going to put it in the microwave. Parked on an angle, so the door's closing in on me. And this will be running off the King's inverter. So we're going to need about... This isn't a very powerful microwave, so we're going to need about 4 minutes 20. And that's it running on the Kings. So that's including the fridge and the electric blanket, which I should probably turn off, but so 1500 watts about. So I'll turn the fridge off, and I'll turn the electric blanket off. They come on automatically when I turn the inverter on. Well, we got 1300 watts, so that's better. So that's running not too bad. And I've actually got about 450 watts coming in from the solar panel and the car combined. So we'll just take a quick look at that while the microwave's running. So we've got the Renogy app here. So you can see just from this section here, 233 watts. Well, it was a lot better before. Although some cloud cover has just come across, so that's not good. It was a little bit more sunny. So what have we got? 242 watts. So we've got 17 amps coming in from the... Oh, sorry. We've got 15 amps coming in from the car. And yeah, only about 2... Oop. Does it occasionally. And Bluetooth disconnected. It also does that a lot. So 234 watts. Interesting. Well, it was getting a bit more from the car before. I'll give the car a little rev. Run it up a little bit. So we're at 2000 revs right now. Bluetooth disconnected. Yeah, it doesn't like connecting from the car either. We'll see if we can get it to connect again. Yeah, so what is actually charging a lot higher before I put the microwave on, so maybe that's just because I'm drawing from the microwave. So we're just finishing up on the microwave, and we're still running 1300 watts. So this is an 800 watt microwave, right? So microwave draws a lot more than what there we go, and down to almost zero when she's finished. But that should be a nice warm, oh that's toasty warm. You can see the steam coming off that. Well, I mean, mission accomplished. The King's inverter does run the microwave.